Welcome, Rabbi Isai, to Chazara Shiur Mishnah Zayin and Sugya Lamed Dalid. We're already holding Lamed Dalid. Can you believe it? We're learning a lot. Baruch Hashem. This is a phenomenal and very geschmacke Sugya. Let's go right ahead. The Mishnah is a little bit of a continuation from last Mishnah on the same topic. We're talking about lending a barrel to your friend. But the case of the Mishnah is generally like this. The Mafkid gives a barrel to his friend to watch, to the Shomer, and the Shomer moves it. Okay, now, in order to determine the din, we need to calculate three factors. We need to take into consideration three factors. Number one, what was the agreement between the Mafkid and the Shomer? Was the agreement that did the Mafkid designate a place for it? Okay? Meaning, did the Mafkid say, can you please keep it in your garage on the corner? He asked, can you please lend me, basically, can you lend me this space? Right, so did he not designate? Or did he designate a place? He said, please keep it in the corner. That's factor number one that we take into consideration. Factor number two is, when did it break? Did it break while he was carrying it, while he was moving it? Or did it break after he put it back? Third factor is, why did he move it? Did he move it for his own need, like he moved it over to rearrange his stuff? Or did he move it for its need? Let's say there was a leak. Let's say there was a leak in the garage and it was getting ruined and it was going to break, so that's why he moved it. Those are the three factors that we are going to discuss. Remember this about the din, that when it's for its need, you're always going to be potter. When you move it for your own need, then sometimes you're going to be chayiv, sometimes you're going to be potter. Just take that into consideration. Now let's actually discuss, what does the Mishnah say? So again, the Mafkid gives a barrel to the Shomer to watch, and the Shomer gives it over to, and the Shomer moves it. So it depends whether the Baal Bayis didn't designate it a place, or he did designate for it a place. If he didn't designate it a place, now the name of the game is it depends. Okay, so it depends if he didn't designate a place or he did designate a place. If he didn't designate a place, then it depends. When did it break? If it broke while he was carrying it from his hand, okay, then it depends. Why did he move it? Okay, factor number three, why? Did he move it for his own reason? So, it didn't designate a place, it broke from within his hand, and he moved it for his own need, then you are chayav. How about if he moved it because of its need, and it broke from within his hand and it wasn't in that place? Then you're going to be potter, because for its need, you're always potter. How about if it didn't break from his hand? He put it back, and then it broke. Okay? So, then it doesn't matter, then it does not depend whether it's l'tzarkoi for his need, or l'tzarkah for the barrel's need. It doesn't matter. If you put it back already, then you're going to be potter. How about if the Baal Bayis did designate a place for it? Okay, so the agreement was, he designated a place for it. Then it depends. Why did he move it? So the only real factor here, the only other factor that matters right now is not when, rather why. If he moved it for his own need, then whether from his hand or putting it back, if you designated a place and you moved it for yourself, you're going to be chayiv. If he moved it because of its need, okay, then it doesn't matter whether it broke from his hand or it broke when he put it back, you're going to be potter if it's for its own need. So it's a lot simpler. If he did designate a place for his own need, chayav, for its need, potter. If he didn't designate a place, then if it broke while he was carrying it for his own need, chayav, for its need, potter. And if he put it back, then you're always going to be potter. That is the cases and the din in our Mishnah. Let's learn the Mishnah inside with the Rashi. Open up your Gemara, Daf Mem Amud Beis. Let's put it on the board. Daf Mem Amud Beis on the bottom. Let's look inside the Mishnah. Open up your own Gemara, read it along, say it. Let the information be one with all the limbs of your body. Like I always say, connect to Hashem in the best way possible. Okay, Zok the Mishnah. Hamafkiid Chavit one who deposits a barrel by his friend. And the owners did not single out a place for it. Again, and they didn't single out law for it. Ba'alim, the owners, makim a place. V'tiltala, and he moved it, the shomer moved it, v'nishtabra, and it broke. Now, im mitoich yadai nishbra, so the first set of cases is, if the first set of cases is no specification of a place. Okay, so now there's two scenarios. If, when did it break? It broke from within his hand. If it broke from within his hand. Litzar koi chayev, for his own, when are you going to be chayev if you moved it for your own need? Litzar ka, for its need, pater, you're going to be pater. Scenario number 2. If from when you put it back, nishbra, it broke. Then, bein litzar ka, both for his need, both for its need, pater, you are pater. Okay. Now, second set, this is the same for the Mishnah. Yichadullah, if they singled out for it, Haba'alim, the owners, makim, a place, the tiltullah, and you moved it, the nishbra, and it broke, then, it doesn't matter when it broke, bein mitach yodai, both from within his hand, uvein mishayinicha, and both from when he put it down, that doesn't matter. Litzar koi chayiv, for his own need, if he moved it because of his own need, you are chayiv. Litzar ka, for its need, pater, you are pater. Rashi. Rashi is over here, close to the bottom of the page, close to the wide lines. Rashi, lo yichadullah abal makim, the owners did not single out a place for it. It's up to Rashi. The base shomer, in the house of the shomer, loymar loy, to say to him, Zavizu hashileni, lend me this corner. Let me use this corner that's in your house for my barrel to be there. Okay, so in the first set in the Mishnah, the first part of the Mishnah, he did not specify a place. He did not ask, can you please lend me this place? Litzar kai, for his need, lehishtamesh ba, to use it. Okay, litzar ka, for its need, shehaisa b'makim haturfa, if it was in a vulnerable place, and it was in a dangerous place, a place where it could get ruined, and it's very close, it's very easy for it to be broken. If once he put it back, then he's going to be pater. That he finished his use, he put it back to the safeguarded place. Both if he took it from the beginning, litzar ka, for its need, both if he took it for his need, doesn't matter if you put it back, pater, you're going to be pater. Uve Gemara, parich, and in the Gemara, we are going to explain actually our sugya, the first sugya, Lamadalid. Sugya Lamadalid, the Gemara is going to ask, Ma'ishna, what's the difference? Lo yichadu mi yichadu. What's the difference between if he specified a place and he didn't specify a place? That what? That if you specified a place and you put it back, then you are chayiv. If you didn't specify a place and you put it back, you are pater. The Gemara is going to discuss what the difference is between the two sets of our Mishnah. Let's move on to the Gemara. Sugya Lamedal. Here we go. Okay, here we go. 1 second. Let's get all the screens set up right. Here we go. Okay. Sugya Lamedal. Frag the Gemara. But actually, before we start, there's two ideas Magdamas that we should know. Shlichus Yad. What is Shlichus Yad? And actually, the whole Sugya Lamed is going to be speaking about this. Shlichus Yad means if I give you something to watch, and you, literally translating, you sent your hand to it. What does that mean? You sent your hand to it. The shomer used it. The shomer took for himself the pikadon. What's the din? If anything, let's say a shomer chinam. Okay, a shomer chinam is pater from everything. Even if it's stolen, besides for negligence, but if it's lost, if it's stolen, if something uncontrollable happens, you are pater. What if the shomer used it? Then the shomer is not pater from anything. He is chayav on everything. Okay, if the shomer uses it, he is chayav on everything. If something happens to it. Okay. Second thing is a gazlan. A gazlan is a thief. Okay, so not someone that sneaks, but someone that openly robs. Okay, that's a gazlan. Now let's move on to our actual sugya. Okay, our sugya discusses Okay, we had all these different cases in the Mishnah, right? But our sugya is going to discuss, as we had a sneak peek, as we had a spoiler from Rashi in the Mishnah, our sugya is going to discuss that when you put it back, you are pater in the ratio, and over here, when you put it back, you are chayiv. Okay? That's what our Mishnah is going to discuss. So again, if you put it back, whether for your own need, whether for its need, you are going to be pater. Frag the Gemara, ha, mani. This, who is it? Who is the time of our Mishnah? And for the Gemara, Rabbi Shmuel, it's Rabbi Shmuel that holds, you don't need the owner's knowledge. What are we talking about? What do you mean you don't need the owner's knowledge? We learned the Beraisa. If the mafkid, let's say, gives a herd of sheep to the shomer to watch, or he gives him a coin to put in his pouch of money to watch, and Dr. Beraisa, there's someone who steals, a shepherd who steals a sheep from the herd, the selam in a kiss, and a coin from the pouch, then what's the din? To the place that you stole it, you should put it back. Just put it back. This is the words of Rabbi Shmuel. You don't need to let the owner know. He can stay not notified. Unnotified. Rabbi Akiva says, you need to notify the balabas. If you don't notify the balabas and something happens to it, you are going to be 100% chayiv. Meaning the shomer is going to be 100% chayiv. So Rabbi Shmuel holds, you need the owner's knowledge if you put it back. Rabbi Shmuel holds, you don't need the owner's knowledge. Ba'inan means need. You don't need the owner's knowledge. So in our Mishnah, when you put it back, you don't need the owner's knowledge, like Rabbi Shmuel, and therefore you're and anything that happens now, or breaks now, you are pater. 1 second. If you're going to tell me that this is Rabbi Shmuel, and Rabbi Shmuel says as soon as you put it back, you become pater, let me ask you. My area, what does he care? What difference does it make? Why does he specify in the Mishnah that he didn't designate a place? If, as soon as you put it back, you are pater, then even if you did designate a place, then still, if you put it back, you're going to be pater. Okay, my area, what difference does it make? Why is he specifying? That's in a case where he didn't specify a place. This whole factor of what the agreement was doesn't make a difference. Either way, if you put it back, you're going to be pater. Right? As soon as you put it back, you're going to be pater. And for the Gemara, the Mishnah is talking in a way of loizu avzu. No, sorry, not loizu avzu. My bad. A loy mibayah. That's not needed. What does it mean? What's a loy mibayah? What's the method of loy mibayah? The method of loy mibayah is not only does the Mishnah tell me a smaller chiddush, even a bigger chiddush. That's the method of loy mibayah. Again, loy mibayah, it's not needed to tell me a smaller chiddush. I'll even tell you a bigger chiddush. The bigger chiddush is here. So the Mishnah says, not only if it has a place where you could put it back. Let's say Isaac, we gave the example in class. Isaac lent me a pencil. Okay? And he asked me, could you put it on the bottom shelf of my closet? So now, not only if he specified a place, and I took it and I put it back in Isaac's specified place, which is to some extent like his space within my property. Okay, because he asked for that specific place. So not only if there's a specific place, if I put it back, am I going to be pater? Even if I did not specify a place, and Isaac asked me to watch his pencil, and I put it anywhere, I put it in my backpack, still I'm going to be pater. If I put it back, anywhere I put it back, I'm still going to be pater. Frag the Gemara, 1 second. In the Sefer of the Mishnah, we learn that if he moved it for his own need, then it doesn't matter when he moved it, even whether it's from his hand or even if he put it back, then he's going to be chayiv. Frag the Gemara, what? If you put it back, you're going to be chayiv? 1 second, how can that be? Rabbi Shmuel holds that if you put it back, then you're going to be pater, because you don't need to tell the Baal Bayis that you put it back. Why are you chayiv all of a sudden? And for the Gemara, the rest of the Mishnah, now we come to Rabbi Akiva. This is the idea, this is the opinion of Rabbi Akiva, who holds that you need das balim, you need to notify the owners. Okay, so Frag the Gemara now, one second, now we're going to ask the same question that we asked over here. We're going to ask it now on the Sefer of the Mishnah, on Rabbi Akiva. One second, if you're going to tell me that if you move it, if you move it and you put it back, or you moved it for your own need, you're going to be chayiv, according to Rabbi Akiva. Now the Sefer is according to Rabbi Akiva, that holds you need the owner's knowledge. Frag the Gemara, one second, my area, what does it matter? Why does he make it, why does the Sefer need to specify the factor of what the agreement was? Why didn't he specify that he said put it in a specific place? Even if he didn't specify a place, still, if you took it and you didn't notify the owners, you're going to be chayiv. Like, why does it make a difference if he specified a place or he didn't specify a place? You took it and you didn't notify the owners, and now something happened. Now you're going to be chayiv. So, and for the Gemara, lo mibaya ka'amar, it's saying it in a way of a lo mibaya, not only the smaller chiddush, even the bigger chiddush. Not only if you didn't specify a place for it, and anywhere is its place, and you put it back anywhere, not specifically the place that has some sort of connection to the mafkid. No, if you put it back anywhere, you need to tell the Baal Habayis. And if not, you're going to be chayiv, even if there's a specific place to put it back. You put it back in Isaac's designated place. Even so, you need to tell the Baal Habayis. Otherwise, you're going to be chayiv. So what do we come out with? We come out that the beginning of the Mishnah is Rabbi Yishmael, and the end of the Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva. How can that be? How can it be that the first half of the Mishnah is one person, and the second half of the Mishnah is another person, and the Mishnah doesn't even say Divri Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Akiva, or anything like that? The Mishnah doesn't just say Stam Mishnah, just a Mishnah without a name, and quote from different people, different dinim. If there's a machlokes, the Mishnah would say clearly, there's a machlokes, or this is Rabbi Yishmael, this is Rabbi Akiva. The Mishnah doesn't just say stuff in the names of different people without saying who's who and what's what. How can it be? How can it be that the first half of the Mishnah is Rabbi Yishmael and the second half of is Rabbi Akiva? And for the Gemara, yes, indeed. No. The entire Mishnah is Rabbi Yishmael. Sorry, the beginning of the Mishnah and the end of the Mishnah are two different people. And we must say this. Even Rabbi Yochanan said, with such certainty, Rabbi Yochanan said this with such certainty, we must say that the beginning of the Mishnah is Rabbi Yishmael and the second half of the Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbi Yochanan even said that whoever is going to interpret for me, Chavit, the Mishnah, our Mishnah about a barrel, Aliba the Chad Tana, according to one Tana, that it's really one Tana, whoever will do that, he will instantly gain my respect, and Moivilna, I will bring Money, his clothes, Basrei after him, Lebei Mesuso to the bathhouse. Meaning, Rabbi Yochanan was saying with such certainty, no one is ever going to be able to explain this Mishnah to me that it goes according to one Tana. The only way to understand this Mishnah is that the beginning is Rabbi Yishmael and the end is Rabbi Akiva. Okay, but next Chelak of the Gemara, we are going to give an answer to this, and we are going to take care of this question. Rabbi Yochanan doesn't have it. He stands with this, that this is Rabbi Yishmael, this is Rabbi Akiva, but we are going to have an answer next Chelak of the Gemara. Now, that was a lot of Gemara. Let's learn this inside the Gemara. Here we go. Okay. We're holding the Gemara on the bottom of Mem Aleph Amud Aleph. Mem Amud Aleph. Right at the bottom where we left off. Frag the Gemara, Hamani. Who is this? Who is the Tana of our Mishnah? And for the Gemara, Rabbi Yishmael, it's Rabbi Yishmael. The Omar that he says, Loi Ba'ina Das Ba'olim. We don't need the knowledge of the owner. If you took it and you put it back, you don't need to let the owner know. The Tanya, as we learned in the Braisa, Hagoyin tell him, hey, one who steals a sheep from the herd, V'sel min hashuk, and a coin from the pouch. What should you do? L'makim sheganav yachzer. And this is talking about a shomer, by the way. If a shomer steals a sheep from the herd or a coin from the pouch, l'makim sheganav yachzer, to the place where he took it from, he should put it back. Divini Rabbi Yishmael, these are the words of Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Akiva says, tzarich das bolim, you need to let the owners know. Frag the Gemara, before we go on to the Frag the Gemara, let's do Rashi. Let's learn Rashi. Last Rashi on the page, Mani. Who is it? Zakt Rashi. Who is what? What are we talking? Which part of the Mishnah was very complex? A whole lot of different details in the Mishnah. Which part of the Mishnah are we talking about? Zakt Rashi. This guy says in the beginning of the Mishnah. The im misheinicha nishbra. That if it broke when he put it back. Af al pi shel kai. Even though that for his own need, Nitala B'tchila, he took it from the beginning, Pater, you are Pater. Who is the person who holds in our Mishnah that if you took it for your own need and you put it back, you are Pater? The Omar that he says, Misha Zira, from when he put it back, Harei B'Rishus HaBolim, it's back in the property of the owners. Kilat Chila, just like in the beginning. The Einay Oleh, and he is mad on it, Ela Kashem Echinam. Now he's back to being a Shem Echinam. It's not like he stole it himself. He's back to Hashem Echinam. Upater al einsel, and he is pater on its oinsin, on any oinus that would happen. The afal pi shelo yidia leba'olim, and even though he didn't let the owners know, loymar, to say netaltia, I took it, ve'ziratia, and I put it back, even though he didn't let the owners know, hashava, hashava, it is considered good return. So now, who holds this? Who holds that if you take it for yourself and you put it back and then it breaks, you're back to a regular Shem Echinam, even though you didn't let the owners know? Rabbi Yishmael leads Rabbi Yishmael, V'chulu, etc. So let's now continue the Gemara on the top of. We have another Rashi. Tzarich das bolim. You need, according to Rabbi Akiva, you need to let the owners know. And if you didn't let them know, chayiv achrayusam, the shomer is chayiv in their irresponsibility. In mace, if it died, oy nignav, or was stolen, then you're going to be chayiv. Why? The midah shakli, because from when he took it, from when the shomer took it for himself, kamli b'rshusing, now it stands in his property, in the shomer's own property. The hashava b'lo yediyah, and a return, putting it back in its place, without letting the owners know, lav hashavahi, it's not a good return. Now inside the Gemara. Frag the Gemara. Rabbi Yishmael, if you're going to tell me our Mishnah is Rabbi Yishmael who holds that once you put it back, you're good, you're pater. Rabbi Yishmael, if it's Rabbi Yishmael, just a moment, I'm just going to take a drink. Made a bracha earlier. Frag the Gemara, Rabbi Yishmael, if it's Rabbi Yishmael, my area, what does it make a difference to him? Why does he need to specify la yichadoi that? Why did he specify in the Mishnah that he didn't designate a place? Afilu yichadoi nami. Even if he specified a place, also the same thing would apply. That if you put it back, you're going to be pater. Why does the Mishnah even specify the agreement factor? You don't even need to specify that. And for the Gemara, Lo Mibaya Kamar, the Mishnah is saying a Lo Mibaya. The Mishnah is teaching in a way of Lo Mibaya. What does it mean in Lo Mibaya? How does that work out? Lo Mibaya, you don't need to tell me Yichadu if they designated a place. First, the smaller Kiddush. You don't need to tell me that if the owners designated a place. Dimakaimo, that is its place. The bottom shelf of my closet is the pencil's place, is the place where it belongs. You don't need to tell me that if I put it back in that place, I'm going to be pater. Ella, rather, afilu lo yichadu, even if they didn't specify a place, if the owners didn't specify the lav mekaymahu, that I put it back anywhere that it's not its place, it's not its unique place. Lo yibayin das bolim, you don't need the knowledge of the owners, and you're going to be pater as soon as you put it back. Frag the Gemara, ema seifa. Say the Sefer of the Mishnah. Ema Sefer is a keyword. It's always going to be a kasha. We're going to slug up what we just said from the Sefer of the Mishnah. Ema Sefer. Say the Sefer of the Mishnah. And now we're going to quote the Sefer. Yichadullah ba'olim makim. If the owners singled out a place for it, v'tiltla, and he moved it, v'nishbara, and it broke, bein mitech both from within his hand, bein misheinicha, both from when he put it back, litzar kai, for his need, chayiv, you're going to be chayiv, litzar kai, for its need, potter, you're going to be potter. So why are you going to be chayiv if you put it back? If you moved it for your own need, and you put it back, why are you chayiv? And for the Gemara, Asan Rabbi Akiva. We move over. This goes like Rabbi Akiva. This part of the Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Akiva. The Amar that he says, Ba'inam das balim. Now we need the knowledge of the owner. When you put it back, you need to let the owner know. For the Gemara, the same question as before. Rabbi Akiva, if it's Rabbi Akiva, my area, what does it make a difference to him? Why does he care? Why does he mention Yichadu? They specified a place. Why in that part of the Mishnah do we specify that's talking about the agreement that the owner specified a place? Even if they didn't specify a place, the Shaimer should also be potter, because should also be chayiv, because he didn't let the owners know. You need to let the owners know, otherwise you're going to be chayiv. It doesn't. Why does it make a difference if he specified a place or didn't specify a place? That doesn't make a difference. And for the Gemara, lo miboya kamar. It's saying it in a way of a loy miboya, that you don't need the smaller chiddush, even the bigger chiddush. Loy miboya, you don't need to tell me in a case that loy yichadu, if he didn't single out the place, the lav mekaymahu, that it's not its designated place. I put it back anywhere. I put it back not in its specific designated place. So then for sure, I need to let the owners know, and otherwise I'm going to be chayiv. Not only that, elo, rather, afilu yichadu, even if he's singled out a place, and I put it back in its place, nami also, the mekaymahu, that it is its place, still, but you need the owner's knowledge. You need to let the owners know. Frag the Gemara, Reisha Rabbi Yishmael, the beginning of the Mishnah is Rabbi Yishmael, the Sefer Rabbi Akiva, and the end is Rabbi Akiva. How can you say such a thing? Makes no sense. And for the Gemara, indeed, yes. The Omar Rabbi Yochanan, as Rabbi Yochanan said, he said that there's no other way to learn the Mishnah. And man b'mitargimli, one who will interpret for me Chavit, the Mishnah about Chavit. Aliba the Chav Tana, according to one Tana, if someone will manage to do that, my Vilna Moneh will bring his clothes basrei after him, living asusa to the bathhouse. But I'm sure that there's no one that's going to be able to interpret the whole Mishnah like one Tana. Rashi. We're holding the second Rashi on the page. Not many Rashis on this part. Next part has long Rashis. But once we understand it, the Rashis are actually very simple, straightforward, and geschmack. They are actually geschmack. Trust me. Okay, here we go. Dibekaimahu, that it is its place when the owners specified where to put it. So now I'm putting it back in its place. Okay? So Dibekaimahu, that it is its place. The Kevan, the Ba'oisai, Makai, and since that in that place, Hechazira, he put it back in its designated place. Chazara Shiur, it's a complete return. Asan Rabbi Akiva. This part actually Teirutzahu is a answer. For those who are paying attention, the Merkava actually continues as one long question. But actually Rashi himself says clearly that part is an answer. So hopefully if anyone has any connection with Merkava, they'll notify this small mistake. But anyway, Asan Rabbi Akiva, we are coming over to Rabbi Akiva. This is an answer. Okay. Next Rashi is part of the next chelik. So let's go back to the slideshow. Let's go back to Havana, and let's continue on in our journey through this sugya. Here we go. Okay. So now, so far, we had a question. How could you say that the beginning of the Mishnah is Rabbi Yishmael and the end of the Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva. How can you say so? So now, what's going to happen is as follows. I'm going to give you the key point of the answer, and then I'm going to take it away, and we're going to go through the way how the Gemara goes through. Okay? The key answer is that it all goes according to Rabbi Yishmael, and the reason why you're chayav over here is because he did shlichus yad, the shomer used it, and he didn't put it back properly. Okay, that's why you're chayav over here. That's the key. Okay, but now let's go according to the way how the Gemara says it. And the way how the Gemara says it is like this. The Gemara says one answer why in this case when he moved it, it was shlichus yad. Okay, the Gemara gives one answer why it's shlichus yad, another answer why it's shlichus yad, asks a kasha on that, and gives another reason why it's shlichus yad. And then the Gemara concludes all those three opinions and therefore answer to the question. Okay, so all three opinions are going to have the same therefore at the end. So the Gemara just says, gives three opinions, and then one therefore that applies to all three. Okay, so let's go. Number one, Rabbi Yaakov bar Abba says that the Mishnah is talking about a case when he moved it, he was intending and stealing it entirely. Okay? Rabbi Nosson bar Abba said, they actually said this in front of Rav. Okay, Rabbi Yaakov bar Abba said in front of Rav, and Rabbi Nosson bar Abba said in front of Rav that he didn't take it to steal the whole thing. He just wanted to use a little bit, like to take a few drops to taste it, or like something like that. Or imagine, take for example, we'll give the example in a second. Actually, Frek the Gemara, 1 second. Like, what really are they arguing about? Like, if he stole the whole thing or just used a little bit of it, like, what are they really arguing about? What are they really arguing about? And for the Gemara, well, the Yaakov bar Abba holds that in order to do shlichus yad, in order to use it, you need to make a lackage. You need to make the pikada in the item, you need to make it missing. You need a chisaron. You need it to be missing. Okay? In order to do shlichus yad, you need in order to use it and be chayiv, you need to actually make it go missing. Rabbi Nosson bar Abba holds, actually, no, shlichus yad doesn't actually need chisar. But if you're using a little bit of it, that's already that's already shlichus yad. Take for example, if I in the case that we gave in class, I was meant to watch Isaac's pencil, and then I take the pencil and I use the eraser of it, or I use the lead. So like there's nothing really missing, but I used it. So according to Rav Nosson bar Yaakov, he took a little bit of it, even though it's not missing. He took a little bit, that's already shlichus yad. Okay, so now, again, we have two opinions. What the Mishnah is talking about when he moved it for his own need. Okay, over here, when he moved it for his own need, he either moved it because he wanted to steal the whole thing, or he moved it in order to, like, mamash use a little tiny drop of it. Fact, Rav Sheshes, 1 second. How could you say that he took it in any of these two cases? How can you say he took it? Meaning, does it say in the Mishnah that he took it? It doesn't say he took it. It says he moved it, tiltlo. That means he moved it. So Rav Sheshes gives his own opinion. Rav Sheshes says he moved the barrel in order to misuse it, meaning he took it to climb on it, lahavi alal gazolis, to bring down his doves from the birdhouse. Okay, that's why he moved it in order to misuse it. Okay? And Rav Sheshes holds that shoyel shaloi midas, someone who borrows, as I said in class, a lot of people are not going to like this, but the din is shoyel shaloi midas, if someone borrows something without letting the owners know, let's say someone goes over to someone else's cubby and takes his fidget without letting him know, gazlan ave, he is a thief. He's an outright thief. Okay, you're not allowed to borrow something without the owner's agreement first, or without his knowledge. Okay, so if you took it and you misused it, you need to ask the owners first. So if you took it to use it to get to your birdhouse, that is considered a gazlan. He's considered a ganin. So now, whichever opinion you go like, one of these three, whatever it is, according to all their opinion, at the end of the day, the shomer did shlichus yad. He took it for himself, either through stealing the whole thing, or through taking a little bit of it, or misusing it in a way that the Balabais really would not approve of. Okay? So at the end of the day, he's doing shlichus yad. And now, therefore, now comes the therefore for all of them. Therefore, the whole Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Yishmael, who holds that if you put it back, you don't need to tell the owners. And the reason why over here, when you put it back, you are going to be chayiv, because he did not put it back in its designated place. So at the beginning of the Mishnah, where there is no designated place, so then it's fine. You can put it back anywhere, and then you're going to be patur. But over here, since he designated a place, you need to put it back in that designated place. If you don't put it back in the designated place, then you're going to be chayiv. Beautiful. So the whole Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Yishmael. Wait. Didn't Rabbi Yochanan say that we must say that the whole Mishnah goes according, that the first half of the Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Yishmael, the second half goes according to Rabbi Yochanan, and there's no way out? There's no other way to touch it? But over here we see an answer. Says Rabbi Yochanan, no. You can't give this answer. Why? Because when it says Mishehinicha in the Mishnah, Mishehinicha Nishbru, when you put it back, it broke. When he says Mishehinicha, it means Hinicha l'mekayma. He put it back in its place. You can't say that he put it back in a different place. The Mishnah sounds like he put it back in its place. You can't give me this answer. So the only other way to learn it is to learn the Mishnah is that this is Rabbi Akiva, this is Rabbi Yishmael, and this is Rabbi Akiva. So Rabbi Yochanan remains with his opinion, with his way of learning. The beginning is Rabbi Yishmael, and the end is Rabbi Akiva. And with that, we conclude the sugya. Let's go on to the Gemara. And now this is going to be fun because there's a lot of Rashis, and the Rashis are going to be interesting. Watch what we're going to do. We actually, by the time that I'm recording this year, we actually didn't yet learn the Rashis inside. So listen closely to how the order that we are going to be learning the Rashis here. Okay, we're holding close to the middle of the page, right after Levei Mesusa, Tirgamo. Okay, and we are going to be jumping from Gemara to Rashi, back and forth, because Rashi is going to explain each part, and then Rashi is going to explain the therefore that's at the end. Okay, so let's halka. Tirgamo Rabbi Yaakov bar Abba. Rabbi Yaakov bar Abba explained the Mishnah. Kamei the Rav in front of Rav. That the Shemer took it on in order to steal it. Okay, that's shot number one. Rashi. Tirgama Rabbi Yaakov. Now we're not going to learn the whole Rashi yet. Some of the Rashi we're going to learn later. Watch. Tirgama Rabbi Yaakov. Rabbi Yaakov explained it. The Teiku Kulam, he establishes all of it, the whole Mishnah, Kechad Tana, like one Tana. Uvitrei Taime, and with two different reasons. The beginning of the Mishnah has one reason, the end of the Mishnah has another reason. Reisha, the beginning of the Mishnah is talking about Sheikh Zira l'Mekayma, they brought it back to its own place. The Kol Makayim Sheikh Zira, because anywhere where the Shemer is going to bring it back to, since there's no specified place, Mekayma, it is its place. Okay, because it doesn't have a specific place. Anywhere where you put it back, it's good. The whole lo yichad lo, because he didn't single out a place for it. The Seifa and the end of the Mishnah, the reason why you're chayiv over there, because he put it back to a place that's not its place. That's not its specified place. Kid Messiah and Maskana as he finishes off in the end. Okay, let's pause here. Let's go back to the Gemara. We're going to get to that. We're going to get back to the rest of Rashi later when we get. Rashi explains now a later part. So let's go back to the Gemara and we'll get back to Rashi soon. Okay, we're holding a few lines later. Tirgama Rabbi Nassan. Tirgama Rabbi Nassan bar Abba. Rabbi Nassan bar Abba translated this Mishnah, interpreted this Mishnah, Kamei the Rav in front of Rav. Shenatla, that he took it, the Shemer took it, Al Manas L'Shlev Bayad, in order to use it a little bit, not to take it entirely, but to use it a little bit. Rashi. Okay, we learned the second opinion now. Let's learn the Rashi on that. Rabbi Nassan Tirgama, and Rabbi Nassan interpreted this Mishnah. Even if it wasn't taken, in order to steal it, chulu, etc. Ella, rather, in order to use it a little bit. Velito miktsasa, and to take a little bit of it. Veloy notal, and he didn't take. Filu hachi, nonetheless. Kamale, it's established for him. But it should say in his own possession. Now, if the shomer took it, and he wanted to use a little bit of it, now it's ready like it's in his own possession. The Havila Gzela, and it's considered a Gzela. Ubainon Hashava, and it needs to be returned. Uvamakam She'eino Mekayma, and in a place where it's not its place. Okay, if you like the end answer of the Gemara, if you return it to a place that's not its designated place, lava shavahi, it's not a good return. Okay, now Rashi continues on to later, so we're going to get back to this part also. Now let's go back to the Gemara. Let's go back to the Gemara. Yeah. Frag the Gemara b'mai kamiflagi. Where are we? Frag the Gemara b'mai kamiflagi. What are they really arguing? What's Rab Nassan bar Abba and Rabbi Yaakov bar Abba? What are they really arguing about? And for the Gemara b'shlichus yad. They're arguing about b'shlichus yad tzricha chesar. They're arguing if shlichus yad, if using it, the shema using it, needs a lackage, needs a chesaron in order for it to be shlichus yad. What is the definition of shlichus yad? Does it need lacking or not? Man da'amar legoizlo, the one who holds that he took it in order to steal it, kasamar, he holds shlichus yad tzricha chesaron, that shlichus yad needs, that should be lacking now. Uman da'amar l'shlech bayad, and the one who holds that the shomer wanted to just use it, kasavar, he holds shlichus yad eina tzricha chesaron, that using it does not need chesaron, does not need lackage. You're able to use a little bit of it, and even though it's not full, even though it's not missing anything, it's already shlichus yad. Now, frag the Gemara, maski flood of sheishes. So Rav Sheshes asked the kasha. 1 second. Midi not lakatani. Does it say in the Mishnah that he took it? Tilt lakatani. It says they moved it, not they took it. Ella Amar Rav Sheshes. Rather, Rav Sheshes said, "Hachamay askinon." Over here, what are we talking about? Kegoin, for example. Shetiltalam, they moved it, not they wanted to use it, but in order to climb on it, in order to get his doves. Because Savar and Rav Sheshes holds, and Rav Sheshes says that the Mishnah holds, that the Tanakh of our Mishnah holds, Shoyol Shalai Midas, someone who borrows without letting the owners know, Gazlan having, he's a Gazlan, he's a thief. And now comes the therefore, right? And this therefore goes for all three opinions that we just mentioned. The Kula and all of it, the whole Mishnah, Rabbi Yishmael is Rabbi Yishmael. The Seifa and the end of the Mishnah, the reason why you're chayiv in the Seifa, when you put it back, that he put it back in a place that's not its place. Isaac asked me to put it in a designated place, and I put it back somewhere else. I took it, I wanted to use it, but I decided, okay, I'm not going to use it. I put it back, but I put it back in a different place. What about Rabbi Yochanan? Rabbi Yochanan, 1 second, what's Rabbi Yochanan going to do with this? He says that the Mishnah has to be two different Tanoim. What's he going to do with this answer? And for the Gemara, when it says in the Mishnah, Hinicha, they put it, Hinicha b'mekayma mashma, it sounds like he put it back in its place. And that's the conclusion of our sugya. So now let's go back and learn the Rashis. We're holding in the first Rashi, right after Kedim Messiah ben Maskai. Daha, because midimaskinan b'siyuma, from this that we conclude at the end, v'seifa, that the end of the Mishnah, sheinicha b'mokim sheina mekayma, they put it in a place that's not its place. Itarza the kulu kai. That is the answer to all of them. Therefore, that conclusion at the end it's an answer on all three opinions. Ad Rabbi Yaakov, Ad Rabbi Nassan, Ad Rav Sheshes. That's a conclusion. That's a oisfir, as we say in Yiddish. That concludes Rav Yaakov, Rav Nassan, and Rav Sheshes. Umishum dehinicha b'chutz l'mekayma, because the shomer put it not in its place, out of its place, lo yahaveh chazara, it's not considered a good return. Ukegoyen, for example, shenetolui mitchila, they took it from the beginning of an asla in order to steal it. The hainu, and that means litzar koi, for his own need. The masnisin of the Mishnah. So when the Mishnah says they took it for his own need, it means that he wanted to steal it. The ilu l'sheila ba'oma, because now Rashi says if the shomer wanted to just use it, let's say to rearrange his shelves, like the example that we gave, if that would have been the case in the Mishnah, ulatashmish, he just wanted to move it for a small borrowing or to use it a little bit. Kevan the lav gzelahu, since it's not really stealing it, Sagi lo be'ashava koldu. It's enough to return it, even a little bit, like the minimum returning is already okay, that's fine. The kol makom sheinicha, in any place where you're going to put it back, pater b'einsin, you're going to be pater in einsin. Aval but mishum digzula hava, because now according to Rabbi Yaakov, he stole it, he wanted to steal it. And by stealing it, it says v'heshiv, you need to return. It says in the pasuk v'heshiv, it's like you should return the stolen item. And this one, he returned it to the place that the owners did not specify. The owner specified in the closet, and I put it back in the backpack. Okay? If so, it's not considered a good return. But Rav Nassan Tirgamon, Rav Nassan Tirgamon, so we did the beginning of this Rashi. And we are holding now V'Rav Sheshes, the middle of the Rashi. V'Rav Sheshes, so now we learned it inside the Gemara already. Now we're going back to the Rashi and learning about Rav Sheshes. V'Rav Sheshes and Rav Sheshes. So now Rav Nassan and Rav Yaakov both started their answers, and they did not conclude their answers. V'Rav Sheshes loy shavik, and Rav Sheshes did not let the L'Saimoy, the to finish their answers. The askit, and he attacked, meaning he asked the kasha, midin, not look at any. Does it say that they took it? Chulu, etc. Umihu, but however, siyuma the milsa, the end of this word, the maskana of the conclusion, that what? What's the conclusion? The seifa sheinicha b'makom sheina b'kaima, that the seifa is talking about when the shomer returned it to the place that's not its place. Akulukai, that conclusion, that therefore goes on all three opinions of Rav Yaakov, Rav Nassan, and Rav Sheshes. That was amazing. Even though it's so long, but it's so clear the way how Rashi presents it. Shlichus Yad. What is the Shlichus Yad, Dr. Rashi? Shechivo ya Torah, that the Torah made a shomer chayev if he does Shlichus Yad. Shechiva hakasav, that the Torah made a chayev olav on him. Afilu answer, even if an oinus happened afterwards. K'dechsiv, as it says in the pasuk, umes, and he died, oinishbar, or it. So the pasuk is talking about that the shomer chinam is going to be potter if it died, oinishbar, or broke a bone, nashba, or was captured, the gamer, etc. Shvuas Hashem tiya ben shneim. Then the shomer needs to make a shvur, as we learned in the beginning of our parak. The shomer needs to make a shvur, and then he's going to be potter only on one condition: if he didn't send his hand and use it himself. So what do we learn out from that? That if he did use his hand, if he did send his hand to use it himself, the mashma that it sounds like from that, ha shaloi nis chayev. This that he's not chayev. Shuv misas. Sorry, the mashma that it's mashma from this pasuk. Ha shalach. If he did send his hand, mischayev shuv. Now he is chayev b'misasa if it dies, u'v'shriyasa and if it gets captured. So when is the shomer chinam going to be potter? If he didn't do shlichus yad. If he did do shlichus yad, then he's going to be chayev. Zarich Yisar needs a lacking, Dr. Rashi. Lo yahav a shlichus yad. It's not considered a shlichus yad. Lahamida b'rishusay, to establish it in his rishus. Ela im kein chasra, only if it had a lacking. Midi not lokatani. Does it say that he took it? Does it say that he took it? the mashma that it sounds like shenitlo la'atzma, that he took it for himself. That's not what it says in the Mishnah, that he took it for himself. Tiltlo katani, it says he moved it. Zok Rashi, l'tashmish ba'oma, for a use, for random use. Mashma, it sounds like l'tzar kali d'masnisim. When it says that he took it for his own use, it sounds like he moved it for a use, not to actually keep it or to take part of it. Ella, rather, kegoin shenitlo la'avi alav is also. Rav Shesh's answer is, rather he took it in order to bring the doves. La'alei saleh, to go on top of the barrel, kederech sulam, like a ladder. Little gezolos, to take the doves, mikein galoya, from a very high nest. Even so, havia gzela, it would be stealing lemekam b'rshusei, to establish it in his rishus, ad the ovid hashava, until he does a return. The kasavar, because he holds shoyel shalai midas ba'olim, a shoyel, someone who borrows something without letting the owners know, gazlan, who is considered a gazlan. The kula Rabbi Shmali, and all of it is Rabbi Shmuel. The whole Mishnah is Rabbi Shmuel. Ashinuya, this is an answer, the kulu, on all three opinions. Koi is going on. This vikulu Rabbi Shmuel, this goes on all three opinions of Rav Nassan, Rav Yaakov, and Rav Sheshes. Ad Rav Yaakov, Ad Rav Nassan, and Ad Rav Sheshes. The Seifa, and then the Mishnah, he put it in a place that's not its place. But the Reisha of the Mishnah, any place that you put it, it's its place, because he didn't specify any place. But Rabbi Yochanan, the Omar Le'el that he said earlier, whoever is going to interpret for me this Mishnah according to one Tana, what about him? You see, you could interpret the whole Mishnah according to one Tana. What's he going to say now? He says that when it says in the Mishnah that he put it, it means, it sounds like, mashma, it sounds like that he put it back in its place. He'll come. Therefore, loy mitukma, he does not establish the Mishnah, Rabbi Shmuel, like it's all Rabbi Shmuel. And with that we conclude this entire sugya. See you in next Chazara Shiur, Mitzvah Hashem, Hatzlacha Rabba, bring Mashiach. We should be zeicher right now to Mashiach.